There is no neutrality in spirituality. You must choose for yourself this day whom you're going to serve. You see, friends, the life and teachings of Christ are such that it compelled people to decide either for him or against him. You see, just like Pilate was forced to decide either for or against Christ, we too must decide. And once we make a decision for him, then he uses us to compel and plead for others to make that decision as well. I love what the famous missionary martyr Jim Elliot had to say. His prayer to God was this: Lord, make me a crisis man. Let me not be a milepost on a single road, but make me a fork that men must turn one way or another in facing the Christ that is in me. It's a powerful prayer. My friends, as we close, this is the greatest sermon that has ever been heard by the greatest preacher that has ever preached. And what was the impact upon the hearers of this sermon? Bible says in the last verses of chapter 7, verse 28 and 29, it came to pass that when Jesus had ended these sayings, he had finished the sermon, he had landed the plane, it says that the people were astonished at his doctrine. Why? For he taught as one having authority and not as the scribes, the other teachers and preachers of the day. My friends, this was an astonishing sermon. Easy to hear, easy to understand. It was very simple, but it was profound in its simplicity. You see, friends, Jesus was a religious teacher of the highest order. He came from the highest heavens to the lowest parts of the earth. And because he knew who he was and where he came from and who sent him, he knew why he was here. He knew what to say. And so he spoke with power, certainty, and authority that astonished his hearers. He was a speaker that stood out from all the preachers of the day. His message was a clarion call that was heard above the cacophony of confusion of that time. And those who listened were convinced that heaven came down to earth in the person of Christ to bring healing, life, and love and liberty. His teachings and doctrines had heaven's authority and power, and it left his hearers spellbound with the convicting power of the Holy Spirit. And as a result, people were compelled to follow. And if we follow the example of the preacher of all preachers, we can expect the same results.